Hey everyone, today we're going to solve the transpose matrix problem on LeetCode. We are given a matrix and we need to return the transpose. And the transpose is the matrix flipped over its main diagonal. You switch the row and column indices of the matrix. So that may not be terribly clear, but here's kind of what it looks like, and this isn't the best way to decipher what they mean, but take the input here, look at the first element, integer of 1. His address in that matrix is 0, 0. He's in the 0th row and in the 0th column. And in the output, in the transpose, he's also in the 0th row and the 0th column. Now look at 2. He's in the 0th row in the first column, and look where he ends up. He ends up in the first row in the 0th column. So all the transpose does is it takes the row and the column indices and switches them. So that's all there is to it. Now this is a little different here. Now see, the input has it has 3 columns and 2 rows, and the output is the opposite. Okay, so it has 3 rows with 2 columns, and that's because again the column and row indices just get switched. So that's all we really have to do. So it's pretty quick and simple. We're going to set up a integer array, a matrix called T, which we will return, and the number of rows will be the number of columns in the input, because remember they're switched. And the number of columns will be the number of rows in the input. We just got to loop through our input. And right here, all we'll do is set the transpose matrix at the indice of the column and the row to be equal to the input of the row and the column. So again, the transpose just flips rows and columns. That's all it does. So that's all we have to do. Return T at the end. Looks pretty good. And there we go. So nothing difficult. Just remember, transpose of a matrix is just the rows and columns flipped. So we set up a new matrix with the rows being equal to the number of columns of our input, the number of columns being equal to the number of rows of the input, loop through the input matrix, and we set our transpose matrix of the column and the row to the flipped version of our input, and then we just return it.